Is your sim down on their luck and maybe they've been kicked out of their house, or they've recently got divorced, or maybe they just like the single life and they've not got much dough and they just need to find a cheap rent somewhere, maybe somewhere a bit dicey, maybe somewhere where there's other people in their situation. God knows what's going on in their lives, but they have found themselves looking for a permanent room in a motel. If that's your sim story, then maybe they need to check in to this motel. Welcome back, guys. I'm here building a sleazy motel today in The Sims 2. Another speed build for you to sit back, chill, listen to me ramble on as I like to do. And yeah, tell you about what we're building today. Firstly, I've not been around for a little while. I'm saying this at the start of every video at this point. I think maybe we just need to accept that I'm a lazy simmer and I'm going to do this when I feel like it. So don't expect like any kind of schedule from me, I think is the lesson here. I'm going to be popping in and out of your lives at my leisure. And just, yeah, I think that's that's how it's going to be. So hopefully that's okay with you. And when you see my videos pop up, it can be a nice little random surprise rather than saying, you know, new videos every Wednesday or new videos every 2 weeks, because unfortunately I just don't seem able to commit to doing that. And you know, what can I say? Summer's getting nearer, the weather's been absolutely unreal, and I just haven't been sat inside playing The Sims, which I think is probably a good life choice for me. As much as I would love to do that, it's probably better for me and just anybody to, you know, get out and live life from time to time. So that's what I've been doing. I've had a busy couple of weeks. What have I been doing? My God, I had basically I feel like I've been running a motel myself in my house. My flat has become a motel, so maybe that's what inspired me to build this. But I've literally been having constant guests swinging by my flat, coming to stay with me, which I do love. I love that. I love playing host with the most. But obviously if you've got people staying, it's probably not the most sociable thing to, you know, boot up The Sims 2 and start recording videos and filming for hours and hours. Yeah, that's probably not why people came to visit me. So I've been playing host, as I say, had some old friends visit, some family members, been enjoying the sunshine, enjoying people's company, and yeah, had a few birthdays. And then this week now, I've actually got a little bit of downtime, which I am going to use to play The Sims. And I looked at the weather forecast and there was a little bit of a drop in temperature and some rain forecasts this week. And I just thought, okay, this is a good time to crack on and get back into playing The Sims. Because I've sort of gone a couple of weeks now, maybe a month even, without playing it. And that's how it goes, isn't it? Like, you play it, completely just throw the game away for then 6 months, and then you jump back on and it becomes an obsession again. You know, it's very hot and cold with this game. So that's how it's going to be. You know, I'm hopefully now getting back into the swing of it a little bit. Although having said that, I am out the country next week. You know, this is it, man. It's hard to juggle. But nonetheless, still, I'm here now. Hello. How have you all been? I hope you've been well. I say this to my, maybe 5 regular viewers that I have. But, you know, I appreciate you guys. I know there's not thousands of hordes of people refreshing YouTube waiting for my next video. But for those of you who maybe literally like the 2 or 3 people that are, hello. I am back for now. And I hope you've been well. I hope you've been living the dream as well. Has it been nice where you are? Comment, guys. Let me know what's been going on. I actually love it when I get that notification that someone's commented. I think that's so cool to chat with you guys, and makes me feel like a proper YouTuber, you know, not just some guy who likes to play The Sims, you know. It makes me feel like an influencer, which I'm very much not. So it's fun to play pretend a little bit. But anyway, here we are. We're building a motel in The Sims 2. Originally this was going to be like a sleazy, dirty kind of, I don't know, dicey, dodgy place where your Sims who are maybe kind of borderline criminal or very down on their luck, or maybe they're just like brand new to life. You've just made them in CAS or whatever, and they're starting life and they want to, you know, get a cheap place to live, and this would be the kind of place to go. Maybe I think it still is that. I think this place can still be that, because these apartments are pretty small. They wouldn't be too expensive, but yeah, it was originally going to be a bit more rough than they turned out. They're actually pretty nice. I mean, look at this. This is a pretty decent room. I know it's not going to be winning any awards for interior design, and the carpet's pretty, it's got personality, let's say. But still, they're not kind of dirty rooms, which was kind of the original idea. But I did lean into this motel vibe in some of the rooms, in most of the rooms, actually. So the one you can see me doing now, it's got that classic dingy carpet. And I'm not ashamed to say it, but I actually love it. If I went into a hotel room and it looked like this, okay, if it was clean, but if I went into it and it was this decor, I'd actually think it was such a vibe. So that's what we've kind of gone for, lent into that kind of Americana. You can see from the outside that very classic Route 66 highway motel kind of vibe. I don't know it very well. Obviously, I've never been in like a motel like this really in the US, but I'm kind of lifting what I've seen out of films and TV shows. I think every TV show, or well, not every movie, but most like long-running TV shows have some episode or scene where they find themselves in like some weird motel, and that's kind of what I'm emulating here. So, as much as it is a hotel room in its kind of vibe, it is going to be an apartment, or they are apartments. So your sim would be able to move in here and make a start in life without breaking the bank. Good place to move your sim into for their like first place. At least I think so. I think it could be a nice sort of first pad for someone. And yeah, what can I say? They're going to be all different. They're going to be, because I did think about this. I thought, okay, I could do them all, just absolute copy paste each room, because probably that's what you would get in a motel, right? It wouldn't be different like decoration in every single room. But that's not very fun to build. It's even less fun to watch. So each room has its own like interior design vibe. The kind of the layout's the same. Obviously, I think that makes sense. But yeah, they've all got their own little vibe. And as you can see, little glimpses of, there's a pool outside, little hangout area. And as I always do in these kind of builds, if you've seen my other videos, you already know I'm going to build some over-the-top resident amenities that are probably not that realistic. But, if you went to a motel and it had the amount of amenities this had, well, you'll see. You just sit and watch. You wait till the end, because you're gonna see. And it's, I probably went a little bit overboard. But, if you moved your sim in here, I don't want them to be bored, right? You want them to have things to do. And it means you don't have to send them off to the community lot every single time they want to do anything, which is boring. And it means you have the loading screen. So at least this way, your Sims can move into the apartment complex. They can meet people, do things, build their skills. Because whenever I play in an apartment building, or like any kind of complex like this, I end up having the most, basically they basically just live and die on that lot, because whichever NPC spawns next door, that's going to be your partner. That's going to be the parent of your child, because it's just, I think it's an easier way to play, and it's quite fun. And yeah, as I say, it means you don't have to be in and out of loading screens all the time. So I like to build with plenty for the Sims to do on the lot, and that's definitely what they get in this slot. They've got loads to do, so you're going to see this as we go. But here we are, working through different kind of vibes, different, I don't know, look and feel. We've got this one, which is a bit more sort of sexy, sleazy. The other one that I think I did first was a bit more kind of homely and cute. And then that one that was kind of super 70s with the avocado and the green. And as you see, I just get more and more unhinged as we go along, because I kind of burn through all the typical styles. And yeah, I find a certain theme for each room. So yeah, sit tight. We're in for a good one here. I think you're going to like this. how relaxing was that? I actually feel a bit like a regional radio DJ at the moment, fading in and out the music. I don't know why I'm living my DJ fantasy here, like speaking over the music in the outro, but here I am doing it. Why not? But oh my god, why does vaporwave music make everything feel so relaxing and like nostalgic? I got such nostalgia vibes when I was watching that little minute back. It just was really relaxing. But actually, I think this kind of like motel vibe, it is quite nostalgic, because I don't know if they're building motels like this anymore. They're probably not. I mean, I think these are a bit of a relic of years gone by, you know, the classic drive-in motel, like, that looks like this. I mean, I don't know how many of these actually exist. I assume they're quite common, or at least they were quite common, maybe in like the 50s to 70s. I don't know how many of them they're building these days, because yeah, there's probably some new version that's more up to date. But that's why I think, especially with that music, I was really getting into the vibe of this build, really feeling, you know, that old school, kind of had an 80s vibe in my mind going on, a little bit of like 1980s nostalgia. We love that. So here we are, we're on the top floor, we're building 4 more of these units before the build is done. You saw me do a bit of the communal area on the ground floor. There is going to be more on the first floor as well. As I said, I took it far too far in adding amenities in this space, but what you're going to do, it's done now, and I thought it was fun, so whatever. And also it gets to a point where you've built like 4 of these apartments, and I start running out of like vibes, really. Like, this one's actually the fanciest one that you're seeing now. It has like the biggest TV, and I don't know, I just feel like that, like cream carpet, that kind of thing. You wouldn't really see that in a motel. So, because obviously it would just be filthy and covered in bodily fluids, and, you know, let's not even think what it would be covered in, because you already know. But then, yeah, I was just getting to the point where I thought, you know, I'm not just going to do the same vibe over and over. I said this earlier anyway, but you're still with me. I'm getting a little bit artsy, like, especially in this room. I don't know what vibe we've fallen into here, but this has got a super modern kind of like, well, obviously very orange vibe, very blocky colour, monochromatic. Yeah, that, I don't know what it is. I watch these things back sometimes and I can't really recall what was going through my head, but all I can say is this is what we ended up with. And I actually, looking back, I think it landed in a really nice kind of way. It's something different at the end of the day, something a bit fun. And I guess the kind of sim that would live here would be maybe a little bit more artistic, or maybe they, you know, this one might be a bit more expensive perhaps, so maybe they've got a bit more money. And obviously this is a motel, so the fantasy, or like the, what would you call it, like in your head you'd probably be playing this as them like moving into a motel, and it wouldn't necessarily be their own space to decorate. But maybe this motel stopped being a motel one day, and they kind of sold these as actual apartments that people could, you know, add their own stamp to, decorate, furnish, and that's why they're all so different. Maybe it's that. You know, we can just tell yourself whatever you need to for this to make sense. That's the level of delusion I like to live on. I think it's a good way to be. But you saw me building the outside area a little bit as well. So those living here, they're going to have a really nice pool, quite a big pool actually, with a diving board. So that'll be good for your Sims to stay fit, have fun, you know, chill out poolside. There's a barbecue. And then when they're done, they can just take a short stroll back to the room. Like, why am I like talking myself into moving into a motel? I feel like the more I'm like romanticizing this, I'm like, am I about to just, like just say, I never know if I can swear doing these. I was about to say, am I about to say fuck everything and like get a motel? But then whenever I'm about to swear doing these videos, I think, am I allowed? Like, am I allowed to swear? I think obviously I am, but I don't know. Somebody tell me if that's a good or a bad idea. I mean, I'm not doing this for like monetizing or anything, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. But yeah, if you ever see me suddenly start stuttering and stumbling and going, it's probably because I was about to swear and then I start really second guessing myself. So anyway, let's just say it. I'm cringing myself out right now. But yeah, if I were to just say fuck everything and then just move into a motel, I'm in my head making it sound really nice. Maybe the reality wouldn't be. I'm thinking of that Simpsons clip where Milhouse's dad moves into a motel after he gets divorced from Leanne, And then he's like, my car looks like a race car. And Homer Simpson goes, I sleep in a big bed with my wife. Maybe that's the situation I'm going to find myself in after romanticizing motel life. Anyway, here we are doing the enough nonsensical rambling. Here I am doing the second story of the resident amenities area, and it gives them a bit more breathing room. I mean, before it was literally basically like a staff room, but the Sims wouldn't have known that, and they'd have just gone in there. So I just thought, whatever, put a treadmill in there and a computer. But this gives them a bit more room. So they've got a little mini gym up here, a little dartboard, just some things, some recreation things to keep them entertained. And then it gives a bit more breathing room downstairs. And bizarrely, this is what I mean about it being a bit over the top. It's got this vaulted section where you can look down into the actual reception, which I probably don't think would be real. But anyway, here we are. We have finished this build. Thank you for sticking with me. Let me know what you think. Did you like this build? Would you move into this motel after I've romanticized it for the past 20 minutes? Let me know. I love to hear from you. Please do drop me a like, a comment, and a follow. And I will see you in the next one.